Piano Comics, 5 activity pages on E minor scale. The pages are provided for free on our email that I will place in the video description. Now let's get started. First page, I emphasize the difference between key signature, accidentals, and of course relative minors and majors. So what is a relative major and minor? Why are they relatives? Let's take C major. And its relative minor, A minor. They are cousins. They kind of share the same, to some percentage, DNA. So what is the DNA in music? It's the same key signature. What is the key signature of C major? 0. Same thing applies, same DNA for A minor. Its relative minor, 0. Now for our E minor scale, its relative major is G major. The key signature of G major is F sharp. So E minor is also going to have that same key signature. Now, if a student asks me, yes, but why on the harmonic E minor I have to play this sharp also? This sharp, D that became D sharp, is an accidental. It only happens for our harmonic scale. It does not apply throughout the whole scale. It's not a key signature. It's not a part of DNA. F sharp, it is a DNA. That's why you also write it in the beginning of the clef. If I play E natural minor, let's say this is the key signature is our skin, our blood. But in the harmonic day, I placed a different t-shirt that I had from some other day. I may wear this t-shirt or I may not, because on the harmonical minor, on the natural minor, I will not wear this t-shirt because it's not my skin, it's not my DNA. This is an example I like to give for my students to make a difference between key signatures and accidentals. And the relative major minor, how to find it? You have to go down, step down 3 semitones, if you have already introduced these terms, to find its relative minor. So going down 3 semitones, 1, 2, 3, I reached A. So A minor is the relative minor of C major. G major. Its relative minor, I have to go down either 1 step and a half, or 3 semitones, 3 half steps, to reach its relative minor, which is relative because they share almost the same DNA, the key signature. Now there are also some questions at the end and exercises. You can use them, add them, or change them up to your students' needs. Now, second page has to do with the way that we practice scales and how to make them a little bit less boring, and to avoid the repetitions that are going to be very stiff and dry, and always create some kind of a target for them to follow, to have some kind of a meaning every time they repeat the scales. Let's say you can play them with dotted eighths or with different articulations, or even combine those. A drunken hedgehog, let's say. I like to call this scale drunk. And then you can also add different time signatures, also odd time signatures. That is for them to stabilize their sense of rhythm, and for them to become independent since the beginning, so that they don't ever use a metronome and they keep counting for themselves and can depend on themselves. Now let's move on to a time signature of 3/8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If I see that they still struggle to change these time signatures, I first give them words to play with, some phrases, so that they use the rhythm of speech, which we all use since almost our birth. So it's much easier to first prepare them with this wrapping, let's say, and then to instill it in their brain, this rhythm, through those words and phrases, and then to transcribe it into our fingers. You can also create words and phrases that are relative to them, like they have a favorite puppy or they're cranky for some reason. You can play with that. Let's say for the 3/8, I created, I love adventures, I cannot stay still. Accepting challenges is my new thrill. And then, I love adventures, I cannot stay still. Accepting challenges is my new thrill. You can sing it or like that, rap it. Place it on top of your scale. Now let's move on to odd time signatures. I like the 5/8 very much. And also I'm using today 7/8. Let's first start with the 5/8. Let's create a warm-up game with some 2 words or 3 words. Warm, juicy burger. So I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and non-stop making those rounds. Warm, juicy burger, warm, juicy burger, warm, juicy burger. And then divide into 2 groups. Your student is going to be the 3/8 and you're going to be the 2/8. And keep on playing like that, several rounds. Warm, juicy burger, warm, juicy burger, warm, juicy burger. Then exchange places. You become the 3/8, they become the 2/8. So this way their mouth is saying this odd time signature, but their brain is instilling that rhythm, and then it's going to be much easier to place it on their scale. And to play 5 fingers in a row, I divide the scale into 4 parts of 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then going down and place all the fingers one by one in a row so that they don't have to think about finger turns. It's already a difficult rhythm pattern, so that I don't make it more difficult with the fingers. So this is how it's going to go just on the piano before I show the phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You count it either 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or all the numbers in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the end, I'm always placing one more bar to create this sense of ending, as if we're greeting some friends when we're leaving their house. Now, with the words, I created this rhyme. Beautiful sunrise glows in my window. Where's my alarm clock? I never heard it ring. So if you see they're still struggling on playing it on the piano, just play only with words. You don't need to do all of this in just one lesson, so that they get used to this rhythm inside them, and then little by little you will also transcribe it into the fingers onto the piano. Now, the 7/8 is going to be 3 plus 2 plus 2. 3 plus 4, 7. This is a very good exercise pianistically for those 4th and 5th fingers. This combination is quite hard. So now I'm playing 5, the same thing that I played with the 5/8, only at the end. I do this 2 times. So I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Or if we're going to count it all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, a warm-up with phrases could be, again, divide into 2 groups. Let's say your student starts with the 3/8 and then you continue with the 4/8, but all non-stop. Come to my birthday party. Come to my birthday party. Then exchange. You become the 3/8, they become the 4/8. Come to my birthday party. Come to my birthday party. Several rounds until they get used to it. They you can see their bodies moving into this momentum of 7/8. Now, the whole phrase plus the scale, or let's divide them. Let's first do the phrase. Come to my birthday party. Bring your friends, introduce them. We will play fun games all day. Eat pizzas, ice creams, cupcakes, yay. Again at the end to finish off. Now, on the scale, it's going to sound like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And this is the work of our difficult combination of fingers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Those two fingers. This is a very good exercise for those two fingers to get along and start working with each other. Now, third activity page has to do with different tempos, adding different tempos and feelings onto our repetitions of scales. You can, instead of giving all those scientific terms, start adagio, make accelerando, and then accelerando until allegro in the natural E minor scale. You can say, you can create a scene, a scenery. You can use their imagination. Let's say you started walking tired from school, but then all of a sudden you saw that some dogs were following you. You got scared, so you accelerated your speed, you hurried up, and you finished off in allegro, a little bit mad or a little bit anxious. So it goes something like this. Tired, adagio, accelerando because something is wrong, finishing off in allegro. Then another scene, andante. Let's say you're feeling confident, you're walking, everything is good, but then you remember something happened, or you forgot your homework or whatever, and you're going to get scolded, let's say, at home. So you start walking a little bit heavier, you make a ritardando, and then you finish off in largo, so you're walking already a little bit confused, hesitant. So let's start. Feeling confident, andante, ritardando, you remembered something is not right. Or you can change the tempos all of a sudden. Starting, let's say, vivace, you're hurrying up, and then finishing off, going down, andantino. Not stress anymore. Now, the fourth page has to do with co-creating, composing. Use a simple 4-bar melody where the right hand has a ready melody, but the left hand, the bass line, the second and third bar has nothing. So your student has to find those two keys, which is actually the harmony that it's going to create with the right hand, the melody. Here it's a very good opportunity to notice that with your students, if the piece is written in E minor, let's say, like we're now doing, the bass keys, which is the harmony, is going to start on that first key, on E, and it's going to finish on E key. So this is how it goes. It's incomplete. The left hand, second and third bar, has nothing. So ask them to play that left hand or both hands together. You'll see either you help them with the melody and they play only the left, or they play together. That depends on their abilities. On the second bar, they can move either neighborly or jump or go up. That depends on them. Try it out 6-7 times so that they hear different harmonical combinations and they decide what they like the most. And on the second melody, you can give the melody incomplete and the bass line complete. So here I left out the third bar of the melody, but the bass line is there. So here you ask them to complete it. Make sure so that those keys, they can be on different note durations. They don't have to be all with eighths, and make sure so that it doesn't look similar to the previous melody that you played, which is the same, so that they don't place here the same keys. Okay, these are not the same keys as in the beginning, but still this F and G is the same keys as in the first example. Ask them to avoid it or jump in totally different keys. And in the third example, just give them the bass line, which is a complete perfect cadence. First step, fourth step, subdominant, dominant, and again, tonic. Don't do anything with your right hand. Let them compose the entire piece together. They can start from E or a different key, that doesn't matter. They can place accidentals. You help them, of course, how to write it down on the scores, note duration, etc. And now for our last fifth activity page, which is to complete our scale with the chords, inversions of the chords, whether separate hands or together, then 3 voice arpeggios and their inversions, then going down, I'm not going to go down now, or the 4 voice arpeggios. That depends on their hands and how well they can stretch it. Some piano beginners can do it, but not all, so you decide. If you have a piano beginner that is 10 years old or 11 years old, they probably can do that stretch, so you can show that also. Then the chromatic scale to work on speed. Remind them the rules for the fingers, it's very simple. And you can work on the chords, on the fingering of the chords. Let's go back to the chords. 3 voices. The edges of our hands are playing the edges of the chords. This is logical. 5th first for our left hand, 1st 5th for our right hand. No matter the inversion, it's always going to be the edges of our hands because it's the edge of the chord. Now the middle part changes a little bit. In the beginning it's the 3rd finger, makes sense. 5 fingers in a row, 5 keys in a row. So it makes sense to place on the 3rd key, our 3rd finger, but on the first inversion, let's say on our right hand. Let's place here 2nd finger, not 3rd, because it will create some kind of tension. It's not a mistake, but it's not a very good habit to have, especially for piano beginners. And why our 2nd finger? Because our 1st and 2nd finger can have quite a bigger distance than all the rest fingers together, except for the edges again, 1st and 5th. Now, in the 2nd inversion, I call this leftover fingers. Let's not have any food waste or leftover fingers. I only have 1 key in the middle. Why am I having 2 fingers? That's exaggerating. So I'm placing the 3rd finger, not the 4th, because this creates tension. So 3rd finger and avoiding leftover fingers. Same thing for the left hand, inversion, 1st inversion. Not our 4th finger, because this creates tension. Let's not make them get used to that. Nor the 2nd finger, because we have leftover fingers. I only have 1 key in between. Why do I have 2 fingers on the air? So I place the 3rd finger. I have 1 key in the middle and 1 finger in the middle of those 2 keys. Enjoy your practice, adjust the exercises to the abilities of your students, and I'll see you on the next mini tutorial for our next minor scale, which is going to be D minor.